The question caught me so off guard that I almost laughed. But nothing about that moment was funny. My ex-wife stood in the kitchen of the home we had once dreamed of filling with children and noisy Sunday mornings. Her wedding invitations were already printed. In less than 3 weeks, she was supposed to marry another man. Yet instead of talking about flowers or seating charts, she looked straight into my eyes and quietly asked, "Do you miss what we had?" In that instant, every wall I had spent 4 years building around my heart cracked wide open. Before we continue, if you believe people deserve kindness, hope, forgiveness, compassion, and second chances, please take a moment to like this video, leave a comment, share it with someone who needs encouragement, and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps these stories reach people who may need them the most. My name is Nathan, and this happened in the quiet suburbs of Franklin, Tennessee. Olivia and I had been married for almost 9 years before everything slowly fell apart. People assumed there had been betrayal or some dramatic secret, but the truth was much sadder. We simply stopped listening to each other. I buried myself in work after opening my construction business, believing I was building a better future for us. Olivia buried herself in volunteering at the local community center because she was lonely in a house that had become painfully silent. Every conversation turned into another misunderstanding. Every apology arrived too late. Eventually, we convinced ourselves that love had disappeared when, in reality, exhaustion had simply covered it. The divorce was respectful, but respectful did not mean painless. We divided furniture, photographs, and years of memories, as if emotions could be packed into cardboard boxes. I moved into a small apartment across town and focused on rebuilding my business. Olivia accepted a teaching position at an elementary school and slowly began creating a new life. Nearly 2 years later, I heard she had started dating a kind accountant named Caleb. Friends told me he treated her well, and although the news hurt more than I admitted, I genuinely hoped she had found the happiness I had failed to protect. Life has an unusual way of bringing people back together. Olivia's father, Richard, suffered a minor stroke one spring afternoon. Since he had always treated me like his own son, I rushed to the hospital without thinking twice. Olivia was already there, exhausted, frightened, and trying to stay strong for her mother, Grace. During the following weeks, I helped drive Richard to physical therapy appointments, because Caleb frequently traveled for work. None of us planned for it, but those quiet drives, shared meals, and long afternoons slowly reopened conversations that had been buried for years. We never spoke about getting back together. Instead, we talked honestly for the first time in a decade. I admitted how ambition had become my excuse for emotional distance. Olivia confessed she had stopped telling me how lonely she felt because she believed I no longer cared. There were no accusations left, only painful truths and quiet understanding. It became clear that our marriage had not ended because love vanished. It ended because pride had become louder than vulnerability. One evening, after helping Richard install a handrail outside his porch, Olivia invited me inside for coffee. Wedding magazines rested on the kitchen counter, beside a stack of invitation envelopes. She stared at them for a long time before asking the question that changed everything. She wondered if I still missed what we had. I answered honestly. I told her I missed the laughter, the ordinary mornings, the terrible homemade pancakes, the way she sang while watering flowers, and even the arguments that ended with forgiveness. What I did not miss was the version of myself who believed providing financially was enough, while forgetting to be emotionally present. She lowered her eyes and admitted something that surprised me. She cared deeply for Caleb and respected him, but every wedding plan felt like she was trying to finish a chapter she had never truly closed. She wasn't asking whether we should reunite. She simply needed to know whether the love we once shared had actually been real or whether she had imagined it all. The answer was simple. Real love does not disappear because paperwork says a marriage has ended. Sometimes it transforms into gratitude. Sometimes it becomes regret. Sometimes it quietly teaches us how to become better people for someone else. I told Olivia that loving her had shaped the man I had become, even if we were no longer husband and wife. A few days later, Olivia made the hardest decision of her life. She met with Caleb and honestly explained that she was not emotionally ready to make a lifelong promise, while part of her heart remained unresolved. Caleb handled the news with remarkable grace. He deserved complete honesty, and she finally gave it to him. Their engagement ended peacefully, without bitterness or blame. Months passed before Olivia and I even considered another chance. There were counseling sessions, difficult conversations, and countless evenings spent rebuilding trust, one small step at a time. This time, neither of us expected perfection. We simply promised never to stop communicating, even when the conversations were uncomfortable. If this story has touched your heart so far, I'd love to hear from you. Please leave a comment and tell us, do you believe true forgiveness can rebuild what was once broken? Or do some chapters belong in the past forever? Nearly a year later, our family and closest friends gathered beneath a canopy of oak trees in a local park. There was no extravagant ceremony, no expensive decorations, and no attempt to erase the past. Instead, there were tears of gratitude, quiet smiles, and two people who finally understood that love is not sustained by grand promises, but by daily acts of patience, humility, and kindness. Richard walked beside us with confidence. Grace cried through the entire ceremony, and even Caleb sent a thoughtful note wishing us peace and happiness. As I looked at Olivia holding my hand once again, I realized her unexpected question had never really been about missing the past. It had been about discovering whether two imperfect people could learn enough from their mistakes to create a better future. This time, the answer was yes. If this journey moved you, please like the video, subscribe for more heartfelt stories, and share it with someone who still believes that hope, forgiveness, and second chances can change a life. Sometimes, the greatest love stories are not the ones that never break. They are the ones brave enough to heal.